Well, this is it. This is the end of our stay in Battambang. Now we're going to take a minibus to Phnom Penh, which will take about 6 hours.
With a population of more than 2 million people, Phnom Penh is the capital and most populous city, accounting for approximately 14% of Cambodia's population. Founded in 1372, it became the national capital in 1434 following the fall of Angkor Thom, and remained so until 1497. After being abandoned for almost 300 years, it was re-established as the capital city during the French colonial era in 1865 by King Norodom, and has grown to become the national economical, industrial and cultural center. The city formerly functioned as a processing center of textiles, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing and rice milling. Its chief assets, however, were of cultural significance.
What a journey. What a journey it was. It was probably the worst journey of my life. But we made it, and the place looks good. There is a swimming pool. I think we deserve a break. Cold beer and a plunge in the pool. Yes. That's what we're gonna do. 100%. Time for a break.
The city was nicknamed the Pearl of Asia for its early 20th century colonial French architecture, which included Art Deco works. Along with Siem Reap and Sihanoukville, today Phnom Penh is a significant global and domestic tourist destination.
So we grabbed a tuk-tuk and all on the way to the city center.
We're going to the central market. Apparently a really nice local food you can get there. Hopefully we can grab something like a snack or lunch and then walk into the temple.
The Central Market, or Psar Thum Tmei, meaning New Grand Market, is a striking Art Deco landmark in Phnom Penh. The bright yellow building, completed in 1937, has a 26-meter-high central dome with 4 tall arch-roofed arms branching out diagonally across the block, creating vast hallways, housing countless stalls selling a large variety of goods.
Alright, we made it to the central market, and by the looks of it, you can buy anything here. Gold, sunglasses, I mean, you name it. It's probably here. Wow. This place is massive.
Initially designed by city architect Jean Desbois, construction works were supervised by French architect Louis Chonchon. When it first opened in 1937, it was said to be the biggest market in Asia. After exploring the central market, we made our way to Wat Nom. This Buddhist temple symbolizes the name of Phnom Penh and a historical site that is part of Khmer national identity. The pagoda is named after Lady Pen, and according to the legend, in 1372, a wealthy old lady named Pen one day went to the port to take a bath in the river and saw a floating koki tree. With the help of villagers, she took the tree out of the water and cleaned off the mud. In the hole of the koki tree, they discovered 4 Buddha statues made out of bronze and brass, and 1 marble statue of Vishnu, with the hands holding a staff, a chain, a snail and a lotus flower. Later, Pen assigned the villagers to build an artificial hill and a small wooden temple on top of the hill to house the statues. She also invited monks to bless the statues, and the monks named the hermitage Wat Nom, which preserved its name until present day. The sanctuary itself was rebuilt several times in the 19th century and again in 1926. The southwestern corner of the temple has a small shrine dedicated to Lady Pen. The front is often crowded with the faithful bringing their prayers and food offerings to the woman deemed responsible for the founding of the temple. The interior has a central altar complex with a large bronze-seated Buddha statue, surrounded by other statues, flowers, candles, and items of devotion and worship. It's a beautiful temple, with murals of Jataka stories of the Buddha's earlier reincarnations before his attainment of enlightenment, as well as stories from Remker, which is the Khmer version of Ramayana.
So that was Wat Nom, or also known as the Mountain Temple. Very impressive. It was very beautiful. Highly recommended to visit. If you're in the city, definitely do it.
Okay.
Let's play a game. Can you cross the road in Phnom Penh or not?
Or we're gonna die. Well, I think we need to just make a move. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I can have one of those ice creams. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, these are the ones, the big ones.
Fruit
Fruit
bat.
bats.
And you can see them, but there's plenty of fruit bats on these streets. Wow, the whole tree is just covered in these bats. As you walk around the city, you will most likely be approached by very friendly Cambodians, offering you some friendly advice, telling you what to see and what to do, offering you a tuk-tuk ride. Just be careful with that, because eventually they're gonna ask for a donation, and you don't want to get yourself in a situation like that. So just say thank you and be on your way. Wow, the tuk-tuk harassment is real in this city. You can't walk for 2 minutes without being stopped and offered a tuk-tuk ride. After a while, it gets a little bit annoying, I have to say. Wow, look what we stumbled upon. Cambodia Security Exchange. Very nice. Well, we decided to treat ourselves today and came to a really fancy restaurant, and look at this beautiful food here.
So the restaurant's called Labab.
Labab.
Yeah, B-A-A-B.
Now passing by the royal palaces, and it's really lovely in the evening. You get a lively breeze, a lot of people out drinking, having food, enjoying themselves, and it's a really cool atmosphere. It's quite a contrast to daytime when it's all just busy, everybody is rushing somewhere, and yeah, as soon as the sun goes down, you know, people slow down and enjoy themselves. They all come out, sit on benches and just socialize.
If you are visiting Phnom Penh, you have to visit the Killing Fields and Genocide Museum to learn about the dark history of Khmer Rouge. Today is going to be a sad day as we explore the main sites around Phnom Penh related to this dark chapter of Cambodian history.
We're visiting Chong Ek Killing Fields just outside of Phnom Penh. It's about a 30-minute drive, and it's one of those places you have to visit to fully understand the extent of atrocities that took place during Pol Pot rule here in Cambodia during the 1970s. I think everybody should know about this.
It is a really sad and moving place, so please make sure to dress and behave respectfully and appropriately. We are now going to get the ticket and pick up the audio guide.
Chong Ek is the site of a former orchard and mass grave of victims of Khmer Rouge, about 17 kilometers south of Phnom Penh city center. It is one of the best known sites, known as Killing Fields, where Khmer Rouge regime executed over 1 million people between 1975 and 1979. Another million people died of hunger and being overworked in fields, toiling the soil trying to meet the quotas of rice production. Mass graves containing almost 9,000 bodies were discovered at Chong Ek after the fall of Khmer Rouge regime in 1979. Many of the dead were former political prisoners who were kept by the Khmer Rouge in the numerous detention centers across the country, as well as their family members, including children. The site operated in secrecy, not to draw unwanted attention of people as to what really happened here. During the execution, the loud diesel generator was switched on, and a loudspeaker that was fixed on this tree was blasting patriotic songs to drown out the cries of the victims. They were executed by a group of teenagers between 13 and 25 years old, led by Comrade Tang, being battered to death with iron bars, pickaxes, machetes, and many other makeshift weapons due to the scarcity and high cost of ammunition. The bodies would then be covered in chemicals to mask the stench, as well as to kill anyone who may still be alive. The chiefs of prisons were often present during the executions, sitting on bamboo mats next to the pits and observing. After the prisoners were executed, the soldiers who accompanied them from prisons buried them in mass graves that held as many as 100 bodies. Today, Chong Ek is a memorial site marked by a Buddhist stupa. The stupa has acrylic glass sides and filled with more than 5,000 human skulls. Some of the lower levels are open during the day so that the skulls can be seen directly.
What did you think?
Very informative and very sad.
We just finished visiting the Chong Ek Killing Fields, and I have to say it's quite emotional, and yeah, it's the extent of the atrocities that took place are beyond description. And I think everybody should come and visit and find out what really took place here during the Pol Pot's rule in the 1970s. And as they say, if you know your past, you will not repeat the same mistakes in the future. And yeah, everybody should know about this. It's an extremely sad chapter in the Cambodian history, this beautiful country. And make sure you take the audio guide, because there is a lot of information that you need to know, and the stories that you need to hear. Yeah, very sad.
We are now heading to the facility that was closely connected to Chong Ek, located in the city center. Tuol Sleng, also known as Security Prison 21 or S21, was used by Khmer Rouge regime from 1975 until its fall in 1979.
we arrived at the notorious Tuol Sleng prison, which was a converted school. They converted it into a prison and kept the victims here before transferring to Chok Eng killing fields that we just visited.
As you walk into the courtyard, you're immediately faced with 14 white stone tombs. Resting here are the last victims believed to be high-ranking officials found at S21 by the United Front National Salvation of Kampuchea and Vietnamese troops when they entered the site in January 1979. The buildings at Tuol Sleng are preserved, with some rooms still appearing just as they were when Khmer Rouge were driven out. Some rooms contain only a rusting iron bed frame, beneath a black and white photograph taken by the Vietnamese combat photographer Ho Van Thai, who was the first journalist to document Tuol Sleng to the world, showing the room as it was found. In each photograph, the mutilated body of a prisoner is chained to the bed, killed by his fleeing captors, only hours before the prison was captured. Although the real number is unknown, it's estimated that 20,000 people were imprisoned in Tuol Sleng between 1976 and 1979. This was only one of between 150 and 196 torture and execution centers established by Khmer Rouge and the secret police, also known as Santebal, literally translated as Keeper of Peace. At any one time, the prison held between 1,000 and 1,500 prisoners. They were repeatedly tortured and coerced into confessing to whatever charges were brought against them, as well as naming family members and close associates who were in turn arrested, tortured and killed. In the early months of S21's existence, most of the victims were from the previous Lon Nol regime and included soldiers, government officials, as well as academics, doctors, teachers, students, factory workers, monks and engineers. Later, the party leadership paranoia turned in its own ranks and purges throughout the country saw thousands of party activists brought to Tuol Sleng and murdered. Prisoners' families were sometimes brought en masse to be interrogated and later executed, as Khmer Rouge adopted a policy of arrest by kin. This meant that if one individual is found guilty, an entire family would be executed. Out of an estimated 20,000 people imprisoned at Tuol Sleng, there were only 12 known survivors. On July 26, 2010, the extraordinary chambers of the courts of Cambodia convicted the prison chief Kang Kek Leo, also known as Comrade Toik, for crimes against humanity and grave breaches of 1949 Geneva Conventions. By that time, he has already spent almost 2 decades in prison for his role in the atrocities committed at Tuol Sleng, as well as jungle prison camp he ran prior to S21. He died on the 2nd September 2020 while serving a life sentence. Established in 1443 and consisting of 44 structures, Wat Onolom is one of the top tourist attractions in Phnom Penh. Located near the royal palace, it is the center of Cambodian Buddhism and the most important temple of Phnom Penh, where the top monk of the nation resides. The main complex houses a stupa that contains what is believed to be an eyebrow hair of Lord Buddha himself and an inscription in Pali Sanskrit. Wat Onolom was one of the 5 initial monasteries to be built in Phnom Penh way back in 1422 during the reign of Ponhe Yat. Before 1974, the pagoda housed over 500 Buddhist monks and the library of the Buddhist Institute, which had a collection of over 30,000 titles. The library was unfortunately destroyed with many other buildings during the years of Khmer Rouge rule. But the institute is now re-established, and in 1999 it was moved to the Sihanouk Boulevard, where it enjoys a much larger area. After visiting Wat Onolong, we went for a stroll on the bank of river Tonle Sap towards the promenade near the Royal Palace Park, where we will take a sunset cruise on Tonle Sap and Mekong rivers. There are many cruise boats operating from the river banks, and you will be spoiled for choice. We jumped on one of the boats just opposite the promenade, and despite the cloudy evening, we enjoyed the breezy sunset cruise on our last day in this hectic city. The Tonle Sap River is the lifeblood of Cambodia, flowing through the country from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, where it meets the mighty Mekong River. Branching off the Tonle Sap Lake, located near Siem Reap, the ecosystem plays an important role, with its fish providing more than 50% of population's protein intake, as well as water for farming. What makes Tonle Sap even more remarkable is that it is the only river in the world whose tide changes annually. During monsoon season, the swelling waters from Mekong River push against the flow of Tonle Sap, where the two rivers meet in Phnom Penh. The force of Mekong is so strong that it reverses the flow of Tonle Sap, pushing it back upstream into the lake. This incredible natural phenomenon makes the lake rise up to tenfold in some places, increasing the depth from 1 to 10 meters. As dry season creeps in, the water starts to flow back towards the capital, significantly reducing lake's capacity. Our time in Phnom Penh was coming to an end. We jumped in a tuk-tuk and went for a ride through the city streets for the last time, reflecting on everything we have seen and learned here. Feeling a bit confused and having been left with mixed emotions, I was thinking about the horrors of the Civil War that didn't fit into the ambience of the busy and relatively modern city, with its beautiful temples, grand boulevards, and French colonial architecture. It's a city where the contrast of old and new, tradition and modernity, joy and sorrow reveal itself the most.